Good morning and welcome to the regular meeting of City Council for Tuesday, July 5th, 2022. All council meetings will be live streamed on the city's website. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Coghill.
Here.
Ms. Gross.
Here.
Mr. Kraus. Mr. Lavelle. Here. Mr. O'Connor.
Here.
Ms. Strasburger.
Here.
Mr. Wilson.
Here.
Mrs. Kel Smith. Reverend Burgess, Chair.
Here.
8 members present.
All right. As we join from our remote locations, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Remain standing for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Thank you very much. Whenever you're ready, Madam President.
Thank you. Thank you, Reverend. Our next order of business is to amend the agenda. Is there a motion to amend the agenda? And a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Agenda is amended. Thank you. And our next order of business is proclamations. We have one to be read into the record, or one to be read by Councilman O'Connor.
We have 3 to be read into the record.
Sorry, Madam President, just presented. This is an event happening in a couple weeks. Thank you.
Councilman O'Connor presents Bill number 574. Be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare Thursday, July 14th, 2022 to Saturday, July 17th, 2022 to be Ancient Order of Hibernians, Ladies Ancient Order of Hibernians Day in the City of Pittsburgh. Councilman O'Connor also presents Bill number 575. Now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby commend the Ancient Order of Hibernians on its biennial and congratulating them for 186 years of dedicated and loyal service to promote and protect Irish heritage and culture, for educating younger generations on the importance of preserving their Irish heritage, for its support of the Catholic Church, its support and loyalty to Ireland, and its positive relationship between Ireland and the United States, and for all its philanthropic endeavors. And Bill number 576. Now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby commend and congratulate the Ladies Ancient Order of Hibernians for 128 years of dedicated service to promote and protect Irish heritage and culture, for educating younger generations on the importance of preserving their Irish heritage, for its support of the Catholic Church, for its support and loyalty to Ireland and its positive relationship between Ireland and the United States, and for its philanthropic endeavors.
Can we give a motion to approve in a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any discussion? Proclamations are approved. Councilman, did you want to add anything?
No, they're holding the first time ever they have a national event. This is the group that runs the parade. So we're giving a proclamation. They're hosting in Pittsburgh for the first time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councilman. And our next order of business is public comment. I would like to remind everyone that the rules of council state that comments are limited to matters of concern, official action, or deliberation, which are or may be before City Council. Threats and profanity will not be permitted. When we have the first speaker, please, and I'm going to take him a little out of order because Mr. Ludwig has a cab waiting for him, and he asked if he can go first. I hope no one minds. Les Ludwig, would you please come to the podium?
Good morning, Madam President.
Good morning.
And you'll say, my God, what is this guy wearing such a strange shirt? Well, it's for fishing, and we're fishing for new ideas. New ideas because of the horrible 5 or 6 people who died in another mass shooting. We got to go past what we've always done, 2 men in a car, etc. It's not working. Pittsburgh's going to be a victim again. So I have brought 35 years or so of experience, the former captain of the police force of Pittsburgh, Dan Quinlan, to bring some ideas, some new thinking, in the hope that we can go ahead and shake the melees that goes along with this room and come up with something better. And at that point, I'm going to turn over to to Dan.
No, Mr. Ludwig, he can speak when your time is up, and if he'd like.
I'm sorry, ma'am?
He can speak when your time is up. He has to have his own time.
Okay.
Thank you for understanding.
Look, we all know that we don't want to see any more people gunned down, certainly not here in our town. So what are we going to do about it? Well, we know that there's areas that are in severe question because trouble has already originated in those areas of the city. And we've got the city divided into geographical areas. So what we have to do is try to exercise control. And how are we going to do that is what I'm hoping we can accomplish in a series of presentations if we can't get it all done today in one. And we hope that somebody up in the police department, the chief, will approve and put it into effect. We've forgotten about the word curfew. Curfew, to shut down a neighborhood where we know that after 8 o'clock or so, that the bad guys are going to go out in the street, maybe too much whiskey or whatever it is that drives them, and there's going to be trouble. So we put a curfew. We haven't used it. I haven't heard the word curfew in many years, and I've been coming to this room. There's many other avenues to be pursued. And I'm going to give up my time to my friend and leader.
Your time is up. Thank you. Next speaker, please, and then we're going to go on to our registered speakers.
Hello, thank you for having me here. My name is Dan Quinlan. I was a member of the Pittsburgh Bureau of Police for 55 years. Lester and I live in a senior citizen building, and many of the folks there are appalled by the violence we see on the various newscasts. I would like to suggest there are certain areas where police with canine dogs could be deployed. The dogs are a fair deterrent. The dogs are not, I had 2 dogs myself. My kids rode them like horses when they were young. The dogs are not a physical negative. They can be used reliably. They are a deterrent. And just an officer walking with the dog, getting out of the vehicle, interacting with citizens, asking about their complaints, where problems are, and what they can do to make the neighborhood safer is what my suggestion is. Other than that, I think the officers have to get out of the cars more often. We called what was a park and walk. One officer would sit in the car, the other officer would walk the streets, interact with the public, find out little minor complaints like kids playing ball on the street or selling alcohol to often intoxicated people. The bar owners or whomever sells the alcohol can be warned if that continues, they may lose their license or have their business shut down. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. We'll go on to our next list of registered speakers, Dr. Ronald Lynn Miller, and thank you for your patience.
Dr. Ronald Lynn Miller, Belsuver, Global Intelligence Society, U.S. National Candidate for the Presidency 2024. Keys to what I'm doing are 2. Vote by voter verification. We are after encrypted voter receipts so that the voter can check to know his or her vote assignation. And secondly, signature to signature verification for ballot nomination papers, signature, authenticity. Pennsylvania State, Allegheny County Election Division deny both of these. Therefore, the vote and signature ballot processes are fraudulent. The Democratic Party person who's in the mayor's office now, Gainey, cannot prove that Gainey voted for Gainey. That's fraud. The Democratic Party, Stephen Zappala, in the district attorney's office cannot prove that Zappala voted for Zappala. That's fraud. Concerns of this council are the vote, among other things, the vote, ballot access, and justice for all. I agree. They're mine as well. Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus Ronald Lynn Miller, 30 June 2022. Case dismissed. The case core, 2017, the ACED claimed RLM signature inauthenticity in nomination papers for the mayor of Pittsburgh and denied me ballot access. 5 years later, 2022, Democratic Party DA Stephen Zappala charges RLM with fraud and arrested me outside this room while I was waiting to attend this council meeting. Put me in handcuffs, took me to the jail, and the food is inedible. The system is barbaric. 2022, 30 June, Municipal Court Judge Pappas dismisses the ACDA charges as fraudulent. Citizens understand it is Zappala, not Miller, the court determined was doing fraud. So there are a number of scenarios that are coming. The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus Stephen A. Zappala. Reference, Pennsylvania General Assembly, 1955, Act 130, Article 14, District Attorney, Section 1401, subsection O. Complaint goes to the Disciplinary Board of the Pennsylvania Supreme Court for disciplinary action which may lead to disbarment for incompetence and abuse of power. And Pennsylvania Court of Common Pleas, Criminal Division, charges, fake investigation, false arrests, and fraudulent charges. Now, how is the Allegheny County in Pennsylvania to compensate Ron Miller for denying access to the ballot in 2017, let alone any other time? You think about it. You should condemn this.
Thank you. Our next speaker, registered speaker, is Naomi Mullen. Naomi Mullen.
Good morning. Shady trees, not shady deals in Bon Air. First, do no harm is not just a rule of medicine. Government shall not harm the people or can be held accountable. Blockbusting and infliction of emotional distress has occurred against Bon Air. Those who oppose the property owners of Bon Air do so at their own peril. No reapportionment is accepted by the Bon Air people. We want to keep our neighborhood nice. We don't want it to deteriorate like the other areas that are near us, and we would be reapportioned to. The Pennsylvania State Constitution says that government was created for the peace, safety, and happiness of we the people. Decisions and actions that harm the people are not acceptable. There are elected and appointed officials that have proven themselves to be enemies. Mayor Gainey, Councilman Coghill, State Representative Benham have all pledged to help Bon Air get rid of the detrimental school property and replace it with the green space. On June 20th, 2022, the detrimental Bon Air school building worsened into being a disruptive and nuisance property. We have objected to the apartments or any other thing other than a green space to replace the school. Tear it down. The building is a magnet to youth who broke in on top of trespassing. 3 of the 7 had to be escorted out of the building. Tear it down. Other neighborhoods have been blighted with worse. Do not allow it to happen to Bon Air. The outcry to the school board has proven futile. Put pressure on them to sell it to the city for $1. Tear it down. Will the rest of City Council promote the peace, safety, and happiness of the Bon Air neighborhood? We, the property owners, say no to anything other than a green space to replace the once valuable asset of the school that was closed against our will. Reapportionment is thoroughly rejected by we, the people of Bon Air. There is no benefit to us, only harm. 6 months ago, Michael Mullen passed away to the day. A green space is a partial reparation for the injuries we have endured. The Michael Mullen Memorial Green Space. Shady trees, not shady fields in Bon Air. Thank you.
Thank you, Naomi. And our next registered speaker is Amy Teresa Campator. Not on? Not on and not in the audience, I can see. And our next registered speaker is Danielle Wenner. Danielle?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. My name is Danielle Wenner. I'm a homeowner in Polish Hill. I'm here very simply to object to Polish Hill being moved out of its current city council district and subsumed into a district consisting of the Strip, downtown, and an amalgam of Northside neighborhoods. I do not understand the motivation behind the proposed change, but we are a residential neighborhood. We're very similar in composition and interests to Lawrenceville, Bloomfield, and the other neighborhoods in the current District 7, neighborhoods that are an easy walk from my front door, whereas the proposed redistrict groups us with neighborhoods as far away as Brighton Heights, which is about a 20-minute drive from my house. I don't really have anything else other than I want to register my objection. Thank you.
Thank you. And our next that exhausts our list of registered speakers. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to address City Council? Ms. Brown? Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Yvonne F. Brown. I live at 715 Mercer Street in the Hill District up at Katie where Irvis Tires. First, I wanted to start off by giving praise, honor, and reverence to Chief Schubert. I had already said that I thought that he was a fair man, and that shows that this policeman cares about the community. I also wanted to say to Paul O'Hanlon, the lawyer that had worked with legal services, I wanted to tell Paul that he was asking about Wilkinsburg, when you were going to have the meeting about Wilkinsburg, and it is July the 7th, so that would be Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? Well, July the 7th at 6 o'clock in the evening. Paul O'Hanlon. And I'm asking you too, Paul, when you come, please speak for me. I'm going to try to come, but please ask them if they're going to hire any of those police for our city, that they go to Sapala's office with me to question why 5 policemen left my son on the floor crying and saying if he could only breathe and he had one lung. And when they walked out saying, call us back if that troublemaker starts any more trouble. See, the problem that I have with you, and especially Mr. Burgess, is that on October the 16th in 2013 is where this was a supplemental recommendation paper. It got wet today, but anyway, it's showing that in October of 2013, Mr. Burgess has said that he wants the resolution authorizing the mayor and the acting chief of the Bureau of Police to enter in an agreement with the Borough of Wilkinsburg for the provision of police qualifications. That means he wants to hire these police in Wilkinsburg. And I'm saying, the only thing I'm asking is to do, the people from Wilkinsburg, I'm not for telling you who to choose, what government you want. I'm saying, please go with me and ask, what happened to these 5 men that let my son die? Do you understand? When my son was crying, when the girlfriend called me and kept on saying, I had one lung. Oh, man. He called them men, and I look at them as dogs. 5 dogs with five different legs. 5 dogs walked out. There was a dog protecting them. They say, put the dog away. The dog was there protecting my son. A dog. And we had 5 white men that had a man. My son was crying, saying, I can't breathe, I can only breathe. So when I hear these other men saying that the police have killed, saying if I could only breathe, it hurts me, because you are here to protect and serve. Protect and serve. And all they had to do was push a button for the police, for the paramedics to come. Please excuse me, but this is terrifying that we have a council like this.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. Are there any further speakers in the audience wishing to address City Council? Good morning. Take your time.
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Flora Williams. I'm a resident at K. Leroy Urban Towers. And we're just having a problem with our security. However, the last time I was down here and spoke, there was a woman that sits on the board here that sent someone to speak with me about the security. And I wanted to give her a thank you because at least she did hear me and did recommend someone to talk to me. I'm just a senior citizen just trying to live out my life peacefully. And they have people in the building that's putting older people, stealing from them, beating them up and everything, and there's no security there to help anyone. And this one woman, she's in the hospital in intensive care from a beating she got about 4 weeks ago now. And she had other problems, but she wouldn't be there if she wouldn't have got beaten and stabbed so bad and robbed. We can't have a peaceful moment in the building where we should have peace there. But we can't have any peace because anyone come in the building, sleep downstairs without permission, and no one's there to put them out. If we can get someone to just help us to push the people out that don't belong there and help the ones that belong there. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you. Have a good day. Are there any further speakers in the audience wishing to address City Council? Are there any further speakers? Seeing none, we'll move on to the next order of business, which is the presentation of papers. We'll begin with Councilman Reverend Ricky Burgess, Chair of Urban Recreation.
No new papers, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman. And Councilman Coghill, Chair of Public Works Services.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you.
Councilman Coghill presents Bill number 537, resolution amending resolution number 224, which authorized the mayor and director of the Department of Public Works to enter into an agreement or use of existing agreements between the city and Sasha Resin for the creation and installation of public art at Arsenal Park by authorizing the agreement to be made by Mango Tava, Inc. on behalf of the artists. Bill number 538, resolution amending resolution 515, which authorized the mayor and director of the Office of Management and Budget on behalf of the city to execute an amended professional services agreement with Gig Pacific Company for the manufacturing and distribution of recycling containers and provision of containers for the payment at a cost not to exceed $2,654,800. Bill number 539, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of Public Works to apply for a grant from the Redevelopment Authority of Allegheny County's Trail Development Fund for the reconstruction of a trail in Upper McKinley Park in the amount of $256,793. Bill number 540, resolution authorizing the mayor and Department of Mobility and Infrastructure to apply for a grant from the Pennsylvania Department of Economic Development's Greenways Trail and Recreation Program to provide funding for the Green Boulevard project. The grant proposal includes an ask of $250,000 and a local match of $374,324.43 for a total cost of $624,324.43. Bill number 541, resolution providing for an agreement with the SAI Consulting Engineers, Inc. for costs associated with the CBD Signals Phase 4 project, providing for the payment of the cost not to exceed $524,739.33. Bill number 542, resolution authorizing the Director of the Department of Finance and the Director of the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure on behalf of the city to enter into certain temporary construction easements in order to advance the El Paso Street Landside Project. Bill number 543, resolution authorizing the mayor and the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure to apply for a grant from the Redevelopment Authority of Allegheny County's Trail Development Fund for the construction of the West End Trolley Trail in the amount of $1,538,784. Bill number 544, resolution providing for a supplemental agreement for professional engineering design services with Trans Associates Engineering Consultant, Inc. for the Penn Avenue Phase 2 reconstruction project at a cost not to exceed $1,564,366.45, an increase of $831,739.84 from the previously executed agreement. Bill number 545, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure on behalf of the city to enter into a professional services agreement with WSP Global, Inc. and or its subsidiaries WSP USA for a period of 2 years for management services in conjunction with a comprehensive bridge access management program at an amount not to exceed $1,500,000. Bill number 546, resolution authorizing acceptance by the city of the dedication of Station Street, located in the Larimer Phase 2 plan of lots as recorded in the Allegheny County Department of Real Estate in Plan Book Volume 294, page 31, in the 11th Ward, 9th Council District.
Thank you. And Councilwoman Gross, Chair of Intergovernmental Affairs.
Madam President?
Yes, Councilman.
Forgive me for intruding. Thank you very much. With your indulgence in Councilman Coghill, could we make a motion to waive the rules on 539? It is a grant application for McKinley Park for trail development, and because of the pandemic, we are very much behind in work that we had wished to accomplish in McKinley Park, and so to get this moving would be a great help if you would indulge and waive or offer a motion to waive the rules on 539.
Councilman Coghill, Councilman Cross wants to make a motion to waive the rules of council for the McKinley Park bill.
You know what? I'm sorry I wasn't in the room there, Councilman Cross. Can I be briefed again real quickly?
Sure. It's Bill 539, Councilman, and it is a grant application for trail construction in McKinley Park. And because of the pandemic, we've fallen behind significantly in the work that we have been doing in the redevelopment of McKinley Park. And it would help greatly if we could get this grant application to move.
Okay, sure. Motion to waive Rule 8.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The bill will appear on tomorrow's standing committee's agenda. Thank you,
Thank you
Councilman.
very much.
Thank you, Councilman, both of you. And Councilwoman, do we move on to Councilwoman Gross, Chair of Intergovernmental Affairs? Should we have her papers? Can you please begin, Madam Clerk?
Councilwoman Gross presents Bill number 547, resolution approving execution of a contract for disposition by sale of land between the URA and Cedarwood Homes Holdings, LLC, or related entity for the sale of Block 78, Lots 3 and 10, and Block 70E, Lots 185, 241, and 375 in the 28th Ward of the city, Boardhead Fording Road between Old Orchard Circle and Bunhurst Street, Council District Number 2. Bill number 548, resolution authorizing the URA to acquire all the city's right, title, and interest, if any, in and to the following publicly owned properties in the 25th Ward of the city, designated in the Deed Registry Office of Allegheny County as Federal Street, south of Perrysville Avenue, Council District Number 6. Bill number 549, resolution approving execution of a contract for disposition by sale of land between the URA and Katie Holler for the sale of Block 50F, Lots 148 in the 10th Ward, Council District Number 9, Rosetta Street, west of Wine Brittle Street, side yard sale. Bill number 550, resolution approving execution of a contract for disposition by sale of land between the URA and Letchert, LLC, or a related entity for the sale of Block 9R, Lots 163, 164, 165, and 166 in the 3rd Ward, Cliff Street, east of Crawford Street, Council District Number 6. Bill Number 551, resolution approving execution of a contract for disposition by sale of land between the URA and One Call Handles It All Landscaping and Trucking, LLC, for the sale of Block 175C, Lot 308 in the 13th Ward, Hale Street, between Mulford Street and Alcott Street, Council District Number 9. Bill Number 552, resolution authorizing the URA to acquire all the city's right, title, and interest, if any, in and to the to-be-vacated right-of-way adjoining the publicly owned properties in the 12th Ward of the city, designated in the deed registry office, 608 Regis Way, 0 Shetland Street, 604, 610, 612, 0, and 616 Larimer Avenue, 6304 and 0 Joseph Street, 0 and 637 and 0 Rapidan Way, and 119 and 0 Shetland Street, respectively. Council District Number 9. Bill Number 553, resolution authorizing a corporation agreement with the URA for the performance of certain work in connection with the Penn Circle two-way conversion and providing for the payment of costs not to exceed $1 million. Council District Number 9.
Thank you. And Councilman Kraus, Chair of Human Resources.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you.
Councilman Kraus presents Bill Number 554, resolution providing that the city enter into a professional services agreement and/or contract with UPMC Mercy in connection with the administration and evaluation of medical examinations and related tests and procedures for the Civil Service Commission's medical examination program for current and prospective employees for employment and promotion, and providing for the payment of costs not to exceed $1,200,000.
Thank you. And Councilman Lavelle, Chair of Finance and Law.
Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman. Good morning.
Good morning.
Councilman Lavelle presents Bill Number 555, resolution amending Resolution 579, which authorizes an agreement with the Pittsburgh Water and Sewer Authority for the completion of projects approved in the City of Pittsburgh's American Rescue Plan by updating the approved projects to align with the revised plan. Bill Number 556, resolution amending Resolution 453, which appropriated federal American Rescue Plan funding by updating the approved projects as outlined in Exhibit A. Bill Number 557, resolution amending Resolution 580, which authorized an agreement with the URA for the completion of projects approved in the City American Rescue Plan by updating the projects and by adjusting the not-to-exceed amount to align with the revised plan. Bill Number 558, resolution further amending Resolution 886 entitled Resolution Adopting and Approving the 2022 Budget and the 2022 CDBG Program and the 2022 through 2027 Capital Improvement Program by reducing facilities improvements, recreation and senior centers by $629,475.94 and increasing facility improvements, public safety by $629,475.94. Bill Number 559, resolution further amending Resolution Number 886 entitled Resolution Adopting and Approving the 2022 Capital Budget and the 2022 CDBG Program and the 2022 through 2027 Capital Improvement Program by adjusting various line items funded by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Bill Number 560, resolution providing for the creation of the Bridge Access Management Program Trust Fund and for setting the conditions for the deposit of funding into the account and for the expenditure of said funds. Bill Number 561, resolution providing for the sale of certain property acquired by the city at tax sale item A 2108 Mazette Place. Bill Number 562, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of Finance to enter into an agreement with the Pittsburgh Community Reinvestment Group for the purpose of providing an annual analysis of community reinvestment of possible city depositories and other associated work associated with the RFPs for the city depository analysis. Total costs not to exceed $75,000 over a 3-year period. Bill Number 563, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of finance to enter into an agreement with MAS Financial Advisory Services, LLC, and Davenport and Company, LLC, for the purpose of providing municipal advisory services to the city over a 3-year period with an option for 2 additional years. Bill number 564, resolution authorizing an interdepartmental transfer in the amount of $40,000 from the Bureaus of Administration and Animal Care and Control in the Department of Public Safety to the Bureau of Police. This transfer is necessary to assist the Bureau of Police with unanticipated funding needs for their imaging project that needs to be completed by the end of 2022. Bill number 565, resolution amending 289, which authorized the mayor and the city solicitor to enter into a professional services agreement with Block and Associates, LLC, for services related to an employment-related matter by increasing the total spend by $10,200 for a new not-to-exceed amount of $20,000. Bill number 566, resolution authorizing the mayor and the city solicitor to enter into a professional services agreement with Fisher Phillips 6 PPG Place for legal services in connection with collective bargaining in an amount not to exceed $50,000.
Thank you. And Councilman O'Connor, Chair of Public Safety Services.
No new papers, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Strasburger, Chair of Innovation, Performance, and Asset Management.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Councilperson Strasburger presents Bill number 567, resolution amending Resolution 65, which authorized the mayor and director of the Department of Finance to enter into a maintenance agreement with OPEC Corporation for maintenance services related to the Falcon Red document scanning workstation by adding a year of maintenance for the second machine at a cost not to exceed $10,930. Bill number 568, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of Public Safety to enter on behalf of the city into a software maintenance agreement and amendments thereto with CI Technologies, Inc. for maintenance and user support services for subscription-based licenses for internal affairs and professional standards software to be utilized by the city's Bureau of Police and Office of Municipal Investigations at an overall cost not to exceed $34,340. Bill number 569, resolution amending Resolution 593, a resolution amended in agreement with eDoc Technologies, LLC, for licenses, services, and maintenance and support services to provide imaging and document management services to include police documents at an additional cost not to exceed $497,350.
Thank you. And Councilman Wilson, Chair of Land Use and Economic Development.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman.
Councilman Wilson presents Bill number 570, resolution authorizing payment from the Department of Permits, Licenses, and Inspections by method of P-card to the International Accreditation Services, Inc. for accreditation under its Building Department Accreditation Program.
Thank you. And myself, Chair of Hearings, I have 3 communications, Madam Clerk. Thank you.
Council President Kell Smith presents Bill number 571, communication informing council of the appointment of Kelly Russell as an Assistant Director of Community Development in the Office of Management and Budget. Bill number 572, communication from Michael Lamb, City Controller, submitting a fiscal audit of the Police Secondary Employment Trust Fund dated June 2022. Bill number 573, communication from Michael Lamb, City Controller, submitting the City of Pittsburgh Popular Annual Financial Report for the year ended December 31st of 2021.
Thank you.
Motion to read, receive, and file, please.
Thank you. Can I have a second, please? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion's passed. And now we'll move on to our reports of, I'm sorry. Is there any unfinished business before council? Seeing none, we move on to reports of committee for final action. Councilman Wilson, did you want to register your votes?
Yes, Madam President. Can I register aye votes on all final action legislation?
Madam Clerk?
So noted.
Thank you. Okay, thank you,
Thank you.
Councilman. And now we'll move on to Councilman Lavelle, Committee on Finance and Law.
Madam President,
Thank you, Councilman.
Councilman Lavelle presents Bill number 532, report of the Committee on Finance and Law for June 29, 2022, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 479, resolution providing for the sale of certain property acquired by the city at tax sale item A and B, 507 West Jefferson and 1740 Eckert. Bill number 480, resolution providing for the conveyance by the city of certain property having been placed for sale to adjourning property owners in conjunction with the City of Pittsburgh Side Yard Program, item A through T. 615 Devalier, 0 Lombard, 4902 Rosetta, 5447 and Rosetta, 5445 Hillcrest, 1116 North Mertland, 7110 Race, 7432 Race, 714 Naylor, 502 Winterburn, 5008 Glenwood, 22 Exeter, 111 Coniston, 2018 Hallock, 533 Griffin, 1232 Sunday, 1318 Warner, 2802 Perrysville, 9010 Reese, 426 Juconda.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the title of the bills. Is there any discussion on the bills?
Just briefly, Madam Clerk, if I may.
Yes, Councilman
Pardon me,
Cross.
Madam President, forgive me. On Bill 480, the side yard bills, I just want to say how much I appreciate residents that are willing to go through what sometimes is a very cumbersome and tedious process to bring this to fruition. But it is so refreshing and nice to see property going into the hands of residents that will, improve their property value as opposed to going to speculators or people that from LLCs that want to purchase the property. So I'm just always happy to see side yard program being passed, and this is a similar situation. So thank you.
Thank you. Anything else from members? And I'll just add to that, that's why it's so important for council to have an opportunity to review properties before we dispose of them. Thank you, to make sure that the community's having what they want. And the bills haven't received the legally, I'm sorry, did we take the vote? Okay, the bills haven't received the legally required number of votes are finally passed. Do we didn't vote, Madam Clerk? Oh, you were right, continue. I thought you said I was right, continue with where it was. I apologize, Madam Clerk. Please call the roll, call the vote.
Reverend Burgess.
Aye.
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle.
Aye.
Mr. O'Connor.
Aye.
Ms. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mrs. Kell Smith, President.
Aye.
Ayes 9, noes 0.
Thank you. Now the bills having received the legally required number of votes are finally passed. And that moves us on to Councilman Corey O'Connor, Committee on Public Safety Services. Councilman?
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Hope you and your family are doing well. Better.
Getting better. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilman O'Connor presents Bill number 533, report of the Committee on Public Safety Services for June 29 with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 482, resolution authorizing the issuing of a warrant in favor of Jack Lafferty's Truck Parts, Inc. in an amount not to exceed $13,439.25 for upfitting of a vehicle for the auto squad. Bill number 483, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of Public Safety to enter into a data sharing agreement with the Bloomberg School of Public Health housed within the Johns Hopkins University to engage in a process and outcome evaluation of the Office of Community Health and Safety pre-hospital buprenorphine program, which agreement shall be at no cost to the city.
Thank you. You've heard the reading and the title of the bills. Is there any discussion on the bills? Seeing none, I just want to add that I did talk to Laura Drogowski, who clarified that no information will be shared, so I was glad that she gave that to us. So thank you for that clarification. And with that said, the bills are now ready for final action. All in favor of their passage, vote aye when the name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess.
Aye.
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle.
Aye.
Mr. O'Connor.
Aye.
Ms. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mrs. Cal Smith, President.
Aye.
Ayes 9, noes 0.
Thank you. The bills having received the legally required number of votes are finally passed. And that moves us on to Councilman Anthony Coghill, Committee on Public Works.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. We have to change that name to add Domi in there.
Councilman Coghill presents Bill number 534, report of the Committee on Public Works for June 29, 2022, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 471, resolution further amending resolution number 886, entitled Resolution Adopting and Approving the 2022 Capital Budget, the 2022 CDBG Program, the 2022 through 2027 Capital Improvement Program by increasing Harriet Avenue Bridge by $391,000. Bill number 472, resolution authorizing the mayor and the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure to apply for a grant from the Redevelopment Authority of Allegheny County's active Allegheny Grant Program for planning around the McClure Avenue and Woods Run Avenue connection in an amount of $50,000. Bill number 473, resolution authorizing the mayor and the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure to enter into a professional services agreement with Kimley Horn for the work on the citywide intelligence transportation system project at a cost not to exceed $299,561. Bill number 474, resolution providing for a reimbursement agreement with the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation for costs associated with the preliminary design phase of the Harriet Avenue Bridge project, providing for the payment of costs not to exceed $391,000. This resolution serves to authorize only the reimbursement agreement at no cost to the city. Future resolutions will authorize the project-specific service agreements. Bill number 475, resolution granting unto the University of Pittsburgh their successors and assigns the privilege and license to construct, maintain, and use at their own cost and expense 3 new shuttle shelters to be located in front of Hillman Library at 221 Shenley Drive in the 4th Ward, 8th Council District. Bill number 477, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of Parks and Recreation and the director of the Department of Public Works to enter into a community partnership playground contract with Kaboom to collaborate in the construction of a new playground at West Penn Park in Polish Hill. Bill number 478, resolution authorizing the mayor and the Department of Public Works to apply for a grant from the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development's Greenways, Trails, and Recreation Program for the Arsenal Park Phase 1 construction project. The grant proposal includes a request of $250,000 with a local match of $139,115 for a total project cost of $389,115.
Thank you. You've heard the reading and the title of the bills. Is there any discussion on the bills? Seeing none, the bills are now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage, vote aye when the name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess. Aye. Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle.
Aye.
Mr. O'Connor.
Aye.
Ms. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mrs. Cal Smith, President.
Aye.
Ayes 9, noes 0.
The bills having received the legally required number of votes are finally passed. Congratulations, Councilwoman. You have a couple good projects there. And that moves us on to Councilman Bobby Wilson, Committee on Land Use and Economic Development.
Councilman Wilson presents Bill number 535, report of the Committee on Land Use and Economic Development for June 29, 2022, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 484, resolution amending resolution number 729, authorizing an agreement and/or contracts with Bloomberg and Associates LLC for effective communication services by authorizing funding for additional services within the scope of the contract at a cost not to exceed $178,976.
Thank you. You've heard the reading and the title of the bills. Is there any discussion on the bills? Seeing none, the bills are now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage vote aye when the name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess.
Aye.
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle.
Aye.
Mr. O'Connor.
Aye.
Ms. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mrs. Cal Smith, President.
Aye.
Ayes 9, noes 0.
Thank you. The bill having received the legally required number of votes, it's finally passed. And that moves us on to Councilman Burgess, Committee on Urban Recreation.
Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman.
Councilman Reverend Burgess presents Bill number 536, report of the Committee on Urban Recreation for June 29, 2022, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 470, resolution authorizing the mayor and Department of Parks and Recreation to enter on behalf of the city into an agreement with Allegheny County, the Department of Human Services, for the city's operations of its senior community centers. Said agreement shall be for a term of 1 year at no cost to the city, with compensation to the city not to exceed $783,450.
Thank you. You have heard the reading and the title of the bill. Is there any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage, vote aye when the name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess.
Aye.
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross. Mr. Kraus.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle.
Aye.
Mr. O'Connor.
Aye.
Ms. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mrs. Kell Smith, President.
Aye.
Ayes 8, noes 0.
Thank you. The bill having received the legally required number of votes is finally passed. And that moves us on to our motions and resolutions. And I have a couple meeting announcements. This afternoon at 1:30, council will hold an executive session relative to a warrant Bill 452, city's no discrimination policy. Tomorrow, Wednesday, July 6th at 10 a.m., council will hold our standing committees meeting, chaired by Councilman Lavelle. Speaker registration will close at 9 a.m. Wednesday morning. Tomorrow afternoon, council will hold a briefing session with sessions at, 2 and 2:30 relative to new software for PL&I. On Thursday, July 7th, and this is the meeting Ms. Brown referenced in her public comment, on Thursday, July 7th at 6 p.m., council will hold a public hearing on the proposed annexation of Wilkinsburg in council chambers. Registration closes at 3 p.m. July 7th. Again, that meeting is Thursday, July 7th at 6 p.m. in council chambers. You need to register in advance. To register to speak at these meetings and hearings, please fill out the sign-up form on the council's meeting webpage by the deadlines. You may also call the city clerk's office at 412-255-2138. And you need us to call for an executive session? Could you tell us what it is?
Sure.
The rules of council, but what's
Yeah,
the wording?
updates on rules of council.
What is the wording we should use?
I'd like to hold an executive session to discuss updates to the rules of council in relation to the updates in the Sunshine Act and also just the codification and organization of the legislative branch. There's been lots of discussion. I'd just like to get you all in a room together so we can have a meaningful conversation before I present you with the draft.
So what's the motion? Should be.
A motion for executive session.
You can't make a motion.
Yeah, I can't make a motion. You guys
Yeah,
can.
no, I know that. I want to know what the wording is, because
for-
Madam Clerk asked that earlier, and I didn't see any answer.
Motion for executive session for updates on rules of council and legislative branch organization.
I'll second it, but I don't think
Well,
it's
wait,
a
nobody
proper
made the motion, Councilman. No-
just for the sake of
Nobody made the
discussion.
motion, Councilman. 1 second, please. Could you make the motion?
Sure, we
Reverend?
move to hold an executive session concerning matters of the rules of council and updates from our attorney on legal matters.
Second.
Second.
Second discussion.
Discussion, Councilman.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Madam President. The only times we're permitted to enter executive session are in matters of personnel and matters of legal matters. And so to enter an executive session to discuss the rules, I don't think really is necessary. We can discuss those openly and freely. There's no legislation on the table. Once legislation's on the table, that could be something different. But if the motion is to enter into executive session to discuss matters of a legal nature, we can do that, but only that.
It is a legal
Madam-
matter, and advised by our our council solicitor.
The rules of
Do you-
council are not a legal matter, Madam President.
But he's talking about, Councilman, he's talking about, and if you're chairing the meetings for the Rules of Council, I think he may have mentioned in one of the meetings. If he hasn't, that's one of the reasons we might need to meet. But it is because that he wants to discuss legally what we can and cannot do. And so, and what he's been advised, is that correct? I'll let him speak for himself since he's the attorney.
Sure. Yes, thank you, Madam President.
Sure. Councilman Kraus, on the 9th of June, I sent an email to you and a couple other members of council requesting an executive session to discuss essentially regulatory compliance with the rules of council. And then also we are working on the codification of the organization of the legislative branch, which arguably is another regulatory compliance issue with the Home Rule Charter. So I need to discuss these things with you in person because they're sensitive issues. And of course, once a draft is presented, there'll be lots of open discussion, but this is a preliminary discussion. I need guidance from my client. And I needed to call an executive session in order to advise my client and also to get feedback from my client, which is you, council as a body. So I need a council member to make this motion, please.
Yeah, no, yeah, Mr. Solicitor, I'm well aware of the email and its contents. I'm struggling with us entering executive session to discuss possible legislative changes to the rules of council. I may abstain from this. I'm not sure.
I don't think
That's
it differs
all.
from us having meetings and having the task force and stuff, but I also think that there's some personnel issues that are going to be discussed. Go ahead, Councilman.
If the motion then is to enter executive session to discuss matters of personnel and matters of legal nature, then that would be a proper motion.
Madam President,
Yes, Councilman.
and Mr. Kraus, I did in my motion mention legal matters because my understanding is that we are going to discuss our rules of council and their interaction with the sunshine laws, which is explicitly both a legal and ethical matter. And I think that's why this is appropriate.
Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you, Councilman. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm just overly cautious about the
I
use
know.
of executive session.
Yeah, I think we all are, so thank you, Councilman.
Thanks, Madam President.
But I agree, we will have a public conversation about this.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. As a matter of fact, you as the chair of the Rules Committee can call for a post-agenda, we can discuss it then too.
Thank you.
Thank you. With that said, is there anything else from members?
We need to vote the going into executive session.
Do we vote for the executive session? No. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, we'll schedule the executive session with Madam Clerk shortly. Anything else from members? Nothing from members? Okay, can I have a motion to excuse the absent member, approve the minutes, and adjourn the meeting?
I do want to say one thing. I do want to just for a moment have a moment of silence for the victims of the Highland Park shooting on yesterday. This nation's obsession with guns is killing our people.
Can we also include the victims in Pittsburgh that have been shot and the violence occurring in our city?
Of course, and
Thank you.
any other victims of violence that have
Thank you.
occurred in the recent times.
Thank you. We have a moment.
Madam President, may I add to that as well?
Yes.
Too? Not just the nation's obsession with guns. The gun is an inanimate object. It's the obsession with murder. How in God's name does one take a firearm to a 4th of July parade and just murder innocent people? It's beyond anything I can comprehend. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Anything else from members? Can we have a motion, can we have a moment of silence, please? Okay, thank you. Now can I have a motion to excuse the absent members, approve the minutes, and adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Second.
Meeting's adjourned. Thank you.